Hey, So Jung here, founder and creator of the Commercial Finance Mastery. Today, I want to show you how I'm able to get endless leads from my clients to basically get financing. Now, I'm a contrarian in the one aspect that I don't hunt for clients. I don't go out there looking for clients. I go out there to make a difference in the world and how to help other people level up, create intergenerational wealth, help them perhaps leverage their assets better, leverage their business better, and maybe perhaps, get them out of the idea that they think residential real estate is passive earning, passive income. When it really isn't, because if they call you, clients call you at 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, phone calls to get things resolved inside a residential house, you got to go. In commercial, it's all about taking care of the clients via property managers. They take care of everything. And usually the commercial component of a building is triple net, meaning that they pay for the taxes, common area, property taxes, and property managers. So you're hands off. That's truly passive investing in real estate, right? So today I want to show you a property and how I go about in showing my investors that leverage my expertise and how they can grow their wealth. So I came across a property. One of my mentee, for example, he's he found this and he said, "This is how I do it. I look for property, I look for how to finance it first, and then I go out and find the investors." It is sort of like the reverse order, right? Most people, I know which lender already. So I already found a lender to approve this deal. And this is the property. It's nice and clean. I mean, the commercial side. Let's see, look at inside. It's commercial. It's great. It's got a restaurant there. It looks really nice. All right. It's well managed. Perfect. Right. Look at that. The other business here looks kind of nice. The residential component upstairs, a mixed use property. So it looks like it needs some TLC. Not too shabby. Maybe the flooring definitely needs some work, right? Get rid of hardwood flooring. Laminates maybe okay, but I think tile, linoleum might be best. Um, but the important part is the big ticket items, usually like here, the electrical places, the basement suite, HVAC unit, what else is that? So there's looking at some potential for storage space down in the basement, like unused, right? But they look like they're fairly new, well taken care of, clean, no clutter. And the area there is pretty nice. Really, it's really nice. I checked around Google Street View already. This is in winter. It looks a little bit dirty, but in the summer, it's very nice and clean. There's churches nearby. There is mechanic transmission place nearby. I think it's right down here. And there's a schoolyard nearby. Definitely several churches nearby. Not too far from downtown, right? So that's the place. We look at the numbers. This is how it works. I go out and find qualifying for the lender. And in this property loan, it's 785K. It's in a smaller city, not Greater Vancouver, Greater Toronto. I look at 3-year fixed rate about 5.5 pretty much today, having 25% down. So that's the key. Investment property, you need 25% down. Owner occupier, you can pretty much finance up to 100% financing. As a matter of fact, this property, if we moved in, we can pretty much do with even 10, 15% down instead of 25. So if you got a 200K, you want to invest and get a good rate of return plus a potential appreciation, this might be ideal for you. We'll talk about the rehabilitation, all that stuff in a bit here. But all in all, including closing costs and all that, and the mortgage amount you're paying. These are the breakdown that the three section that the restaurant has now is leased out. There's two restaurants there, plus another option for the two restaurants. So you're looking at about 3-year leases, 5-year leases. So that's very stable. But at least we can get a 3-year term for sure. 5-year, you can probably negotiate for 4-year, 5-year, possibly. Depends on how the other residential upstairs tenants are. There's like 3 apartment upstairs. I believe some of these are below market rent. They're all below market rent, really. The 2 bedrooms, 1 bedroom, 1 bedroom. So the total income is about 104K per year. The total amount of expense is about 31, right? Now, even include management fee and a maintenance reserve set aside for fixing all that stuff. This is a reimbursement from the triple net, the three commercial section, whereas the other ones are uh, tenants. We have to pay for the property tax. So unfortunately, net operating income is there. It's pretty decent for 200,000 in 3 years. Net 196,000 put in 3 years, you get all your money back. This is a no-brainer. The gross rent multiplies about 7.5 times. DCR is easy debt service currently at 1.67. Cash on cash return 14%. Where do you get 14% ROI on 200 grand? Not steady, not guaranteed, right? So there is some upside, but the downside is it. The downside is the apartment needs TLC. So the residential upstairs capital expenditure that we need to put in, CapEx, there's some amount of money we need to set aside. I'll talk to that in a bit next, and how you can rehab it and then later refinance to take equity out. Commercial rates we're seeing about 5.5, residential is less. But like I mentioned earlier, we got property manager, take care of everything. It's hands off. So this is low risk for you. 3-year term so that you can exit earlier. Um, I don't know about the vacancy. We haven't figured out yet. The pro forma doesn't include that management fee, maintenance, so we add that in our calculations. Um, they currently show that's a cap rate 9%. This will be sold quick. My investor usually gets sent this really rapidly, and we close it fast. We reach out and get it tied down quickly. By the time this is probably seen by you, it's probably already taken out by somebody else, right? You snooze, you lose. That's how it is. I like this deal. And here's what we have for you. I mean, I got spreadsheet that explains everything, how this works and all that. Color coded for you too. But this is, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. From year one and onward, the growth, if you increase the rent a little bit by a little bit, and same with the commercial, it's already included in there. The growth is exceptional. Don't need to go dive into this number here, but as you can see, from almost 12% cash on cash all the way to like 16% in year five. That's incredible. Your equity is gonna grow from the beginning. I mean, the first year is not much because you put pretty much 200 grand down, but you gain about 30K. This is just showing basically inflationary numbers of roughly 2%. We're not using huge numbers. So even that, by the fifth year, look at this. By the fifth year, you'd almost double your initial investment just on the inflation, capital appreciation, right? So, hey, let's say we rehab the place. It's going to cost possibly roughly, it's say 8 to 10%. I think that it's not going to be that much. Like, looks like it's minor cosmetic upgrade needed. So use 8%. Yeah, some contingency for another 9 grand. So at least $72,000 additional money we set aside for that to inject into it. Once we rehab it, because the apartment, you can pretty much increase the rent, evict everybody out of there. You give them 30, 90 days that the owner can hand off to give that. Usually I do yearly leases for all these residential so that they know at the end of the lease they have to renegotiate to renew. It's not a guaranteed renew. Restaurants is pretty cool. It's got good rent. So leave that alone. We don't touch the restaurant because they don't need to rehab. They already kept it in well-maintained condition. That's one thing I love about commercial is that they must keep it in the same quality or similar quality as they got from day one. If any damage, we can deduct from their deposits and all that stuff. Same as, sure, residential, but residential is much harder. How do you like this? Even after rehab, the cap rates, you're still sitting at about 9.95%, right? NOI drops a little bit because now you gotta worry about the extra money that you gotta fund. If you borrow that, if not, then it's just as good. However, if I wanna refinance and take the equity out, it's still doable at 1.25. And if within the next 30, 60 days, maybe even 90 days, things won't change that much. The rate would probably still be 5.5. It is currently even as low as five and a quarter for commercial rates, a 3-year term. So when we finish fixing it up and rehab it, that increases the property right away because the higher the rents, right? For commercial, it's all based on income, rental income. Now, the new mortgage that we need to take out, it also increases. And if you look at that, the initial down payment is 196,000 plus the rehab of 72,000 plus some closing costs. Total capital expenditure is about 280 grand. When we refinance it with the new mortgage at 847, that's the maximum we can take out, right? 847 grand. We pull out basically 282,000. So what's left in this property is only like free money. I mean, we actually take out more. We actually take out almost $1,800 more than we put in. Zero in, guys. This is a no-brainer. This is how I get leads. I get clients send me, I send them my newsletter, and the clients will will respond back and say, hey, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in. By the time I got 5, 6, 8, 10 people reply, now I got one client, maybe two clients that's going to put money together, maybe four. I JV with all these people together to get four people each put in 25,000 each or 50, sorry, yeah, 25,000 each, or 50,000, $50,000 each, four people, right? 14% return, man. You can't beat that. Right? Man, woman. So there's other things that I talk about Canadian small business financing loan. If it qualify for that, if you own a self-employed business and you want to move in and take over one unit, this can be done for that as well. And we also look at if this was in the United States, how that applies in US as well. We also have SBA loans in the United States but you need a one body that is a citizen of the United States for that to happen. Same thing with Canada, CSBFL only for Canadian residents, right? We can help finance as long as you take over 40% of the occupancy for your business. So like upstairs, instead of residential, you can convert that to office building and refinance it under the CSBFL program. Like 15% down payment instead of 25, right? Sometimes, and you know what? I can probably get this down to as low as 5 or 10%. This is such an incredible deal. But you got to move into this place and live there and work there. That's it. No questions asked, right? This is a no-brainer deal. Seriously, no-brainer. And and if you take your money back within after the rehabilitation, it pays for itself. This thing will be over in 25 years amortization. It'll be paid for by itself, right? And you're cash flowing every year. That's insane. Think about that. Huh? So it is a no-brainer, and this is how I get leads. So investors will come and talk to me and say, hey, I went in. I went in. How do I get in? That's it. Get a one-on-one call and get into the CRM system if they miss the boat for the next one. Right? And I already pre-approve them with certain lenders. I already vet them that this is the area that we're looking at. So we'll be financing with those bank lender in that specific part of the country. All right, whether it's US or Canada, we can do the same thing here. Does that make sense? That's how I get easy money. I bring the deal. Either they pay me my bird dog fee, could be 5, 10,000, or I get no bird dog fee, but I help with the financing and I charge them my commission, 2-3% basis point. In this one, it'll probably 3% because it's a smaller 700, 800-ish K loan. So I'll make about 21, 22, $24,000 commission on this. Is it fair? Hey, they're making this money back in 3 years. No brainer, right? So any questions, feel free to message me, DM me, or check out our other YouTube videos as well. And you can see what we clearly do is add a lot of value and increase your value exponentially. That's how you make more money in the big game. This is high ticket. This is it. Welcome to the big leagues, guys.